Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 30 of the GVGCast.
Woo.
I'm your host for today, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Steve Bowling and Derek Bittner, as well as, for the first time in like a month, our art director, Daniel Albo. How's it going, guys?
Our man Daniel was off playing Pokemon. He couldn't join us. He was too busy playing children's card games.
Right?
That's right, it was.
You know what, Daniel, I'm going to start with you, man. Like I said, it's been about a month since we've had you on the show with us. It's such a privilege to have you back. How have you been, man? How's your life going? How are things going over in Daniel Alba land?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back again. It's been longer than I thought. Yeah, doing daily life things, and mostly was focusing on some video projects that were that recently came on the channel. One of them was Pokemon trading card game. The second game is quite longer than the first one, like twice as long, basically. So that took a lot longer to do than I anticipated. And I'm already like getting ready to do another video. Hopefully we can get that done within the week. It'll be a lot faster than the last one I did. But otherwise, been doing okay. I've been surviving. There's been a lot of crazy news that's happened, even in just the last week. Yeah. That I haven't had any chance to outlet any voices on. So that'll be nice to do today. But otherwise, I was playing Mario plus Rabbids this week.
Nice.
I've been able to jump into that.
Thoughts?
I think it's good. Yeah, it's a good improvement over the original. I know it's unfortunate about like people talking about the whole like Ubisoft situation with the workplace and everything, and that's kind of been brought to light more. And again, actually, Arlo did a video on that. If you want to look deeper into their whole workplace conditions at this point in time. Mm-hmm. But I still made the decision to buy it. I no matter what happens in places like these, there's still like with this game, a big group of people who are passionate about the IP. They put a lot of work into the art, the animations, the overall design of the whole thing. And I still think that any artist still deserves to have their work seen and recognized. Yeah. So I think it's all a matter of perspective of how you take it, like how empty or full you want to see the glass when you do things like this. But yeah, I've been enjoying that, so it's been a good time. I've like in the third world at this point. I think I'm about to get our last party member on the crew, so it's been fun.
Nice.
And, very nice. Yeah. And Derek, before we started, man, you had mentioned that you had an update for us and where you are in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've got a chance to play a little bit, not a lot, but enough that I actually finally finished chapter 3. I'm on chapter. I literally I saved at the thing where it's like chapter 4 or that thing. Uh-huh. So I've not seen anything beyond that, but chapter 3 ended with a nice bang. God, there's a lot to look at as far as like just exploring, but I
just wait.
I explored everything I could. Really looking forward to me getting those extra abilities that allow you to fully to get things, especially that like rail grinding thing.
Oh,
because it's like it's taunting me. I'm so close to having these maps done, and it's just not there. It's like there has to be a way. But yeah, it's still amazing. I'm still very far behind on all that stuff. Otherwise, I am been trying to keep up with stuff. So for those unaware, unfortunately, Kai got sick this past week, and he basically got a viral infection in his
man.
Not his lungs, but he got a cough, his respiratory system, that sort of thing. So just had a bad cough, sneeze and get the runny nose stuff, and it started flaring up around last Saturday, and it was like, well, it's not great, but I think it's just a mild cold, and then Monday night he woke up and he just was miserable. He just couldn't get back to sleep, so I stayed up with him all night long.
Oh man.
And I ended up getting maybe 3 hours of sleep over the course of like a 40-hour period. I was exhausted, and the rest of the family has been starting to get hit by these colds. I fortunately have not. I'm still there, but I am also just so freaking tired. So there is
man.
that. So I'm just, I just haven't had time to play because I mean, I can, but I got to do what Kai wants. And I bring up Xenoblade and he's like, no, turn on the PlayStation so I can watch Cars again. I'm like,
oh. Yeah.
I've watched Cars so many times.
Oh, I bet. That's kind of been the thing recently with a lot of us. Something's going around at Team GVG where, like, Kai's been sick. I know John was just mentioning to us earlier today that Amelia got chicken pox. I've been sick. I've got this thing that I got during my UK trip a couple of weeks ago that just keeps. Like, I think I'm better, and then I'll have another day where I just don't feel well. I got body aches and like a slight fever. Then the next day I'll feel fine, but it just won't completely go away. I know Brandon said he wasn't feeling well either. I think he got sick.
It's that time of year.
It's just I guess it's that time of year, man. It's weird. But Steve, I don't think you've been sick, man. How have you been?
I have miraculously dodged all of that like a bullet. Both my kids were sick 2 weeks ago, I think. And I was, doing what any good parent would do, like providing care and comfort. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely getting whatever this is. Didn't happen. I'm so thankful.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I've been doing a lot. Like so y'all know I've been working on God of War, the review for that. I talked about it last week that I had played like the first few hours. I'm still working on the review. I did come up for air for a little bit to try Bayonetta 3, which Helena Taylor's tweets like summarily sold me on this morning.
Yeah.
So,
oh boy.
Yeah, she should really put Twitter down. But anyway, yeah. But I also like got my tax return like a couple weeks ago. Just, like, long story short, my taxes last year were very complicated, so it took the IRS like an extra long amount of time to deal with them. Weird how starting a company makes your tax situation more complicated. But,
yeah, weird.
So I got my money back and I just went crazy and I bought like a brand new sofa for my living room, which I shared in our Discord, like this big blue gaudy like Capcom themed sofa.
I love it.
And I actually upgraded the office room. You can't see it, but now like to my left there's like a new TV and there's another PlayStation in here and there's recording gear so that I can capture footage like in the same place that I edit it. I'm very thankful for the IRS giving me that money back after holding on to it for like 2 years.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll do an updated tour of it like on the post show or something at some point, but my camera can't move away to show you all what I'm talking about. But it's been a very productive week for me. I've just like gotten I renewed my lease here and I was like, I just need to make this house my own because I'm going to be here for like 2 more years now. I thought I was going to leave. So I was like, I better get cozy. I'm going to be here for 2 more summers.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's been a productive week for me in terms of my day job, which has been keeping me really busy. I'm hoping things ramp down a little bit soon, and we're all given a little bit of a breather because I think we all need it. So I've just been kind of trying to, get whatever sleep I can, keep up with my work, keep up, of course, with Patreon stuff, and all that good stuff. As you can see, my hair today is doing its best Leon Kennedy impression with the middle part with the bangs. Although I have a giant forehead that Leon does not have. It's almost like the 5th special guest of the show, my giant forehead. But otherwise, I'm just I'm still chipping away at Xenoblade 3. And what I was going to say to you, Derek, is if you have the same problem I do, where you want to explore everywhere you can before moving on with the story, brace yourself for Chapter 5. I'm not going to name the location. I'm not going to name what it's called because that itself is a bit
just
of a spoiler.
A lot of stuff to look at.
But I am only now. I feel like I've been in Chapter 5 for many, many, many hours now, and I'm only now finally moving ahead with the story again because of just how gargantuan the area that you are in Chapter 5 is to explore. So just brace yourself is all I'm saying.
I'm just taking my time at this point.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. I'm just
enjoy
I know I'm not
the
going to
world
finish it anytime soon, so I'm just chipping away at it. And yeah, I've just been doing lots of really fun Fight of Founder sessions with our amazing patrons. If you want to know more about what that is, you should check us out at patreon.com/gbgaming. But that's just kind of been my week, really. Before we get too much further on, though, because we do have some news to discuss, before we get too much further, we do, as always, have to call out our amazing sponsor, the Game Orb. The Game Orb is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While games like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu can be seen on the channel, along with others, the Game Orb will also now be adding Splatoon 3, Super Mario Sunshine, and Fall Guys to the gaming collection. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description. And of course, as always, I'm going to be posting the link in our chat here as well. So, yeah. Here we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. Yes, please do go show the Game Orb all your love. Please subscribe and like all of his videos if you haven't yet. As I say every week, as we say every week, he has been supporting us from the very beginning of GVG's life. He's been sponsoring, first Today's News Tonight and then GVGcast from the very beginning of our channel's life. So please do go send him some love, show him some love. And speaking of love, we have some super chats to read out. You guys are always so incredibly generous. So let's read out the first few of those right now. First off, we have our good friend Jaden Buck with $5. Thank you very much. With the latest crazy
Lazy Question Friday.
Lazy Question Friday. Okay, crazy question number 56. Do you ever get the feeling that you thought you forgot to do something, but you already did it?
All the time.
Yes.
Oh, that's my life.
All the time.
You kidding?
I feel like that's definitely my life. Yeah. It's a great feeling.
It's a relief though.
Yeah.
It's better than you like. I think I did that, and you look at it, it's like, oh crap, I haven't. That's a worse feeling.
Yeah,
I get that at least once a week with my laundry. Like I will go do something. I'm like, oh no, I didn't put the laundry in the dryer, and it's gonna stink. And then I'm like, oh, it's already there and dry. How did I forget it? Yay!
Yeah,
it's like a weekly occurrence.
That happens to me sometimes with the dishes. I'll think that I still need to do the dishes, and I'll go to the sink. I'll be like, oh, wait, the dishes are done. They're already in the dishwasher, and I've already run the dishes. That's great. So it usually happens to me with chores and stuff like that. But it's always a relief.
I have a terrible habit of buying stuff I already bought and not remember.
No.
And it's dumb things. Like I'll be like, oh no, we're out of orange juice, and I'll order it, and then I'll open the fridge, and I'll be like, we still have an entire bottle of orange juice. I now have too much. Me
making my grocery list is literally me going through the refrigerator and pantry just to see like, okay, what do we have and what don't we have?
I really need to start doing that.
I recommend it.
Yeah.
Even then, I still miss some things, but it's fine.
Next up, we have $10 from Love Hugh. We love Hugh too, Hugh. Thank you very much. Wanted Dead out on Valentine's Day has many former Valhalla game staff, many of who were former Team Ninja staff. The game looks like a realized vision of Devil's Third, just raising awareness. I've actually never heard of this. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know how or why I've heard of it, but it has kind of come across my desk, as it were. And I don't have a lot of interest in it personally, but I have heard a little bit of hype for it. So hopefully it turns out to be, what you want.
I've never been a big Team Ninja person, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't dislike their games. It's just not my vibe. Like, I've never really clicked with them very much.
Let's see. Next up, we've got $5 from Dion. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say this.
Hun,
maybe? Yeah, Dion Hun. I apologize if that's incorrect. Yeah. Thank you, Dion, for the $5. Hey, GVGcast, for the Mario movie, what references would you like to see? I mean, that could be a video on its own, right? That could be...
I want to see the scary chompy piano from Mario 64 somewhere.
That would be
cool. I want the white block that you go behind the screen for.
Oh, that's a good
one. In Mario 3. It will
that's
never happen, but it'd be a good one.
that would be really cool.
Those are good ones. Mine is decidedly cruel in nature. One, I want Yoshi there, and I want Mario to accidentally like punch him in the back of the head to make his tongue come out.
I thought you were going to say I want him to abandon Yoshi to reach his goal.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say too.
An extra jump.
Yeah. I think it would just be it'll never happen, but I have a soft spot for the US version of Mario 2, which we of course all know is not really a Mario game, but I've always liked Wart. Wart makes me laugh. I've always liked him as a character, and I'd like to see them reference him in some weird small way, but that'll never happen because it's not even really a Mario game. So
I feel like it is a Mario game now. It was re-released in Japan as Mario USA.
But people love to point out
Shy Guy and stuff like that.
Oh, I agree, but people love to point out, well, it's really Doki Doki Panic, and it wasn't really originally.
Well, yeah,
Mario
but
game.
I think Nintendo has made it as canon as they're willing to make anything in Mario.
Yeah. I love Mario 2, and I love
Shy Guys have shown up way more than poison mushrooms.
Yeah, and I mean, Shy Guys personally are my favorite Mario enemies. So a lot of what I love about Mario and some of the specific enemies comes specifically from Mario 2. So I would love that. Maybe even a Shy Guy reference. I don't think we'll see Shy Guys in the movie, but it'd be cool if we got a little reference to them in the movie. Yeah. So we'll see. Next up is Snoopy with $4.99. Thank you very much, Snoopy. My first GVG cast in the PST zone. It's weird seeing you guys live at 5 p.m. Wish me luck with my new life in Vegas. Well,
congrats.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
congrats and
Snoopy.
good luck. Yeah.
And
Good luck, Snoopy. Yeah.
You are a short road trip away from me.
Same.
Next time I'm in Vegas, I'll have to hit you up.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It's like a 4-hour drive for me and my wife. And actually, my wife and I might be planning a little staycation next month in Vegas. We haven't really been since before the pandemic started. So we might finally be going back next month. And if we do, I'll be sure to hit you up. And
Vegas is fun, but if you don't like cigarette smoke, which most of us don't, it'll be difficult to be indoors.
Yeah, we tend to only stay at the hotels whose casinos are smoke free. And that makes a huge difference.
Vegas might kill me in that if I didn't do that, I guess, because I do have asthma on that. Oh God, cigarette smoke just
I hate cigarette
shrivels
smoke.
me.
Can't stand it.
We do have more super chats, but as always, I'm going to read them out throughout the show so we can go ahead and get on with the news. But before that, I do want to remind everybody we are doing something very special and fun tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific, we're starting bright and early. We are doing another subathon. This is going to be very similar in style to the subathon we did for our 100,000 subscriber celebration stream. And essentially, we are going to be doing a spooky subathon. We're going to be playing, it's going to be a relay race, 2 teams of 2. We're going to be playing through, or racing through, I should say, Super Ghouls and Ghosts and Castlevania Bloodlines. It's going to be me and Brandon versus Derek and John. There are going to be all sorts of super chat incentives or Patreon pledge incentives that you can, donate to mess with us. There are going to be plenty of ways to embarrass us, mess with us as we run. We might even put on some embarrassing Halloween costumes, just depending on what the milestones
mine
we
if
hit.
you saw my subathon for my birthday.
But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You can blindfold us. You can make us lose a life on the spot. Make us do a voice impression of whomever you want for a set amount of time. Make us switch to a different Switch game for a while to mess up our runs. There are all sorts of ways you'll be able to embarrass us and mess with us as we race through these games.
And we have fun things to unlock if you reach certain goals on our Patreon.
Indeed.
That's right. Lots of fun opportunities for original content.
Yes. So definitely, we're definitely trying to drive awareness to our Patreon, and the most fun way to do that is with these really fun subathon streams. And it's going to be great because I love Igavanias, but I'm not a big Classicvania guy. So I played Castlevania Bloodlines, but I haven't ever beaten it. Certainly, I don't think I've even played past the second stage. So I don't really know what I'm in for. It's going to be a mess, and I can't wait.
It's been a while for me, but I don't remember it being that hard.
Right.
Like we got off easy, Ash.
I know. I was
Super
immediately
Ghouls and
was like, I don't want to be on Team Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Thankfully, John was like, I do want to be on Team Ghouls and Ghosts. I'm like, you can have it.
Yeah, it was Brandon that said that because he's your partner.
Yeah.
I was fine being Team Ghouls and Ghosts because I have beaten Super Ghouls and Ghosts before. I forget why I did it, but I did it.
I was gonna say that's a brutally hard game. Like that
I think I did it.
It's fun. It's a great game, and I've beaten it before too. But it is tough.
I think I did it for a holo stream over at Game Explain. It was when I wasn't allowed to do a stream, so I had to redo a pre-recorded one. So I chose Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and that's what I ended up. And I did a playthrough of that, and it did not do well at all as far as views. So I'm like, well, that was a waste of time. Mm-hmm. But hey, at least I can say I have Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I've been Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
There you go.
Ouch, Caitlin! I just saw the picture you posted in our live audience chat of my forehead. It's literally a runway. Ouch! I mean, I say I have a big forehead. I didn't think it was that big. Damn. All right.
Brutal.
Should have picked Castlevania The Adventure. If it was on Switch Online, we would have. That's what I would have pushed for. But it's easier for us to be on Switch and switch to other Switch games. If that gets done.
Yeah.
It's just, that way we don't have to switch over cords and whatnot.
Right.
So that's why you chose NSO games.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about some of the week's news. There is a bit to talk about here. There's something I am in particular very excited about, but let's get the downer stuff out of the way first. So, as you know, Helena Taylor, we talked about this, Bayonetta's former voice actor. We talked about a lot of this last week.
Remember when we had faith?
The saga continues. So she actually came out, as you guys have said in live audience chat, she really needs to put down Twitter because she basically came out and confirmed Jason Schreier's reporting that her initial claims were basically false and misinformation, that she was indeed offered a lot more money.
Lying by omission,
essentially, yeah. But even though she essentially admits that she lied by omission, she still decided to double down on asking for people to boycott the game, calling the people at Platinum crooks and liars and whatever. And then she, to add insult to injury, she decides to post a list of charities that she wishes you would donate to instead of buying Bayonetta 3. And surprise, surprise, the list of charities includes anti-abortion charities, anti-LGBTQ plus charities, all sorts of shitty stuff like that. So, Steve, you were saying that basically due to this tweet, you decided to buy a copy of Bayo 3 outright, right?
I saw. I didn't think the situation could get worse after she confirmed basically Schreier's reporting, as Derek mentioned. I was like, that's a pretty bad look, but okay, we'll just button this one up and call it done and over with. And I was going through my usual doom scroll of Twitter this morning and saw her latest raft of tweets, and I saw people in the comments saying like, yo, these charities. So I decided to click through them, and I was like, oh man, this is like a rogues gallery of bad opinions all grouped together. And so I was like, you know what? This will motivate a financial decision on my part. And I went to the eShop and I wish I had the money to do that.
Well, man, I see GCM of Chaos in there mentioned what they've said on our live audience, saying the only good thing to come from this is awareness of voice actors being underpaid, except she really didn't. she raised awareness, yes, but in the worst way possible. Now like, oh, I'm sure that voice actor is lying. How can we trust them? It's ammunition for people against those type of things. Yep. She screwed people over. Nothing good came of this. She made the cause terrible.
And that's the thing is, it's we certainly, as we said last week, voice actors being underpaid in games and anime is a problem. Her lying about it doesn't change that, but it sure does make the cause that much harder to advance. And everything she did just screwed everything up for everybody, really. And it was all so she could have her, day in the sun, play the victim, or 15 minutes in the sun, I guess, play the victim. But I don't understand the
end game.
The end game here. She admitted she lied by omission and then decided to double down on her original request for a boycott, and then spread, the information that she supports charities who support really bad shit. So I don't understand what her end game was here, other than throwing away her voice acting career, because she certainly has done that. And I like you, Steve. I haven't done it yet, but I was kind of ambivalent on buying Bayonetta 3, but I think because of exactly what you said, the fact that she has come out as, supporting some really horrible views, I'm just going to buy it straight up just to support the game and support the antithesis of everything she stands for. She's apparently also a TERF, which, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So,
By the way, Daniel, you weren't here last time, so what are your thoughts on this trash fire?
Like, of course, when you first see what happens on Twitter, like her initial tweets about the claimed underpayments, the scary thing is that that's believable. Like, you can believe that the voice actors and actresses out there, they can be paid very much under the amount that would be considered fair for the kind of amount of work that they put into there. A lot of people don't really understand how much goes into voice acting. It's not just sit in a booth and say words. A lot of it is a lot more than that. With certain, like with games and anime and that sort of field, you have to not only act as if you're doing these expressions, these exertions that an actual Hollywood actor would be at times physically doing themselves, but you have to act that, match your lip syncs to it, and just sell the expression of what you're doing there. It's a lot. It can be a lot more difficult than doing live action at times. And I'm fortunate to at least be associated with some voice actors that through social media, through when we have Emblem Con every year, we've been able to interview and talk to some of them. They're all fantastic people, at least the ones that we've been associated with. And it's hard to see just how damaging this kind of proclamation can be, and the fact that it keeps getting worse. She just keeps digging her hole deeper and deeper, and it just makes it harder for people within the voice acting community to, make their case that we deserve better in this field. I mean, they're not Hollywood actors, obviously, but they still deserve a fair amount for the time and efforts that they put into this art. It's just like artists, like people
bring these voices, these characters to life. That's
yeah,
seriously.
Yeah. It makes such a difference when you play a game that has voice acting and when you take that out, especially in certain games like with Bayonetta. And yeah, it's just a shame to see where that all went from here on. And the whole process was terrible. Like from the initial Helena Taylor's the tweets to the way Camilla handled it, which was the worst possible way.
Yeah, anyone
could have initially handled that. It just made the dumpster fire even hotter from the start and get go.
Even hotter, yeah.
Oh god, but yeah. I wish the best for my voice actor friends out there, because I know a lot of amateurs and professional voice actors out there who are trying to get into the business. Getting those kind of fair rates is always something to fight for. I think there's still at least some good to come from having that conversation start and people getting out there, like discussing what their payments are, like to an extent, and how much it changes from person to person. It's such a fluctuation depending on where you're looking at.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree that she shined a light on a very real issue, and that's what made her claim believable. The problem is, like you said, everything about the aftermath of her doing that kind of muddied the waters and made it confusing. But yeah, voice actors definitely deserve to be paid appropriately for the work they do. It's difficult work, like you said, Daniel. And I hope that it does start a broader conversation or a more public conversation about that. But
absolutely,
did it have to be her? Did it have to happen like this?
Yeah.
But to discuss something really quick that's positive about a voice actor in Bayonetta 3, I just found this out through our live audience patron chat. But Anna Brisbane, who voices Viola in Bayonetta 3, put out a tweet supporting or asking people to raise money for Trans Lifeline. So she's clearly a pretty cool person relative to Helena Taylor being a terrible person.
What do you know? There's a lot of cool voice actors out there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of a nice positive spin on this, and I think that's probably a good place to leave things for now. I mean, if past this prologue, Helena Taylor will find some way to make this situation even worse for her that we can talk about next week. But for now, I think that I'm
kind of done talking about her.
Yeah,
same.
So this leads me to our next story, which is something I wanted to talk about. And if you ever needed any sort of confirmation that I made today's thumb, I mean, I got to put Aya frickin' Brea front and center on a GVGcast thumb, which I never thought would be the case. I also snuck Skullman in there because it's Halloween, it's spooky season, and I can do that. But Square Enix have trademarked something called symbiogenesis in Japan. And symbiogenesis happens to be the basis for Parasite Eve's story. And just a quick Wiktionary definition here. Symbiogenesis is the merging of two separate organisms to form a single new organism, which indeed is the basis of the story for Parasite Eve. So that's where we're at. Maybe this is signaling the return of something Parasite Eve related, and it could be nothing. It might not be Parasite Eve at all. But I am crossing everything I have that this is signaling the grand return of Parasite Eve.
I have no words to describe to you the disappointment you're going to be in for.
I'm not expecting it to be. Don't get me wrong.
Oh no, I firmly believe we're going to get something Parasite Eve related. But I believe they're going to pull a Nosgoth on us and give us like an entry in a beloved franchise that is not even markedly like close to what we want.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, it's a free to play arena shooter on mobile.
Yeah.
My hope is like a remake of the original.
That's what I want more than anything.
That's what I want.
With Resident Evil, with RE2, 3, 4 graphics.
Over the shoulder camera.
Yeah.
I will say this, and this is something I thought at the time when I first saw this game. When I actually saw gameplay footage of Final Fantasy VII Remake for the very first time, like combat footage, I was like, this would work so damn well for Parasite Eve. Like, it's so close to the combat system they had in that game. So I was like, with some very minor tweaks, you could just take the remake engine and do Parasite Eve with it.
Just imagine playing RE2 and then bringing up the same sort of system for remake, and then to cast your magic abilities. Basically,
man.
I can't even deal with how cool that would
work so well. And I will say, if it does happen, you're welcome. Because last year, for my Halloween stream, I streamed Silent Hill 2, and we're getting a remake. This year, I streamed Parasite Eve.
Nice.
And immediately this stuff comes up.
Streamer
So
profit.
again, if you want some
Okay.
spooky games, apparently whatever I play around Halloween, we're good to go.
Well, and that's
Nice.
really the only thing that could have made that week of really cool survival horror announcements even better. I mean, we got that amazing Resident Evil 4 remake trailer. We got that great trailer for the Resident Evil 8 story DLC, 3 new Silent Hill games, and then on top of it all, the potential return
What if
of
What if
Parasite
this
Eve.
is the reason they brought Final Fantasy VII Remake back in-house, so that they could own the rights to the underlying engine and mechanics, so that they could use it for other things?
I wonder if if they might go for the name Symbiogenesis or whatever, just to try to get it away, because I imagine Parasite Eve might be a bit of a rights nightmare at this point. I don't know.
That's what I understand. Is there are issues with the rights, which is why they called the turd known as the third birthday instead of Parasite Eve 3. So yeah, I have to imagine that if they are bringing the Parasite Eve series back, it will be under a different name. Maybe it will just be Symbiogenesis. Who knows? Or as Steve was saying, maybe this is the ultimate monkey's paw situation where they're bringing Parasite Eve back, but it's going to be unrecognizable and something nobody wants. So
Fourth birthday. By the way, Daniel, please tell me you've played Parasite Eve.
Right, I won't tell you then.
Dude, you
Parasite Eve.
should play Parasite Eve.
It's honestly really short. You can beat it in under 10 hours.
It's so good.
Okay.
And it's really fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
generally did not like those types of games back in the day, and I still played it and enjoyed the hell out
So
of it.
good.
It really is it transcends the tropes of the genre it's part of.
That's the
And
reason. I'm not the biggest fan of said type of games. Honestly, I haven't played.
It's honestly not that scary. There's some light body horror, but it's PS1 graphics, so it's not going to gross you out or anything. There's some
Yeah.
you get to see some animals transform, and that's about the ickiest you'll get.
Oh,
And
okay,
it's-
gotcha.
Otherwise, people are on fire.
And it's got a killer soundtrack. Yoko Shimomura really shows her range.
I
with
do know.
Parasite
Yeah,
Eve
I do know she
soundtrack.
did that.
And
So
that's the
she-
other. Oh, sorry, Danny. Go ahead.
Oh, you're probably gonna see what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is she gonna come back and compose
I
for
imagine she
this?
would.
Dude, if she
With, like, Live Alive?
pulled like a Live Alive and came back and remastered the soundtrack for Parasite Eve, I might just melt. I don't know if I could. My brain could handle.
catch fire.
I'd catch fire. I'd combust exactly. Yeah, that would be God. I think that's the best way this could end. Is if this does turn out to be a remake of Parasite Eve or maybe a reboot. I don't expect them to continue on with the story, from the third birthday, because honestly, they shouldn't. The third birthday is the less said about that, the better. And of course, John, being John, the first thing he did when I tweeted about this, just said the fourth birthday. And I'm like, why are you like this, John? Why are you
know how
like
he is.
this? But yeah, if you haven't played Parasite Eve, definitely do. And you know what? I'll be one of the lone voices to speak up in defense of Parasite Eve 2. It's not the kind of sequel that I would have expected. It's very Resident Evil-esque in terms of its tank controls, and it's kind of a weird sequel, and I didn't like it at first. But when I came back to it, I was like, you know what? This game's actually pretty good in its own weird way. Nowhere near as good as the first game. But I think Parasite Eve 2 is worth playing as well.
It was my first time playing a game with tank controls when I picked up the sequel, and I bounced hard because I'm like, where's my first game? I like those controls better, and I could probably go back to it now, but either way.
Right. So here's hoping. There isn't too much more to say on this right now. This just served as a great reason for me to put Aya on a thumbnail and talk about my love of Parasite Eve
Congrats
for a
on
while.
not finding being able to find a not pinup pose of her.
I know, right?
That is
I wasn't
hard.
going to use that, and I wasn't going to use any art from the third birthday because, again, I have a personal vendetta against that game. But I really hope this is Parasite Eve related, and I really hope it's something that we will all actually want to play. But we'll see. Time will tell. For now, though, let's read out a few more super chats, shall we? Let's see here.
Sounds good.
Next up, we've got
Fluxcat.
Fluxcat, yes, with $10. Thank you, Fluxcat. Nice seeing your name again, by the way.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Just got done playing Super Smash Bros. Melee and finally unlocked Pichu. I still have a lot of ground to cover. However, I will say I'm enjoying my first time with Melee. Still doesn't beat Brawl, though. Well, nice. I didn't realize this is your first time playing Melee, but Melee's a great game. I do prefer Brawl as well, but Melee's a great game. And I have very fond memories of unlocking all the characters and stages in Melee for sure. And I played a ton of it.
I remember when I found out how you unlock Mewtwo, and I just left my system on all night.
Oh, right. I think I did the same thing. Yep, same thing.
God, it's such a different universe back then when you're playing these games and you don't have the internet to tell you how to unlock every single character, so you just unlock everyone naturally That was such a cool thing to like see characters like, who the heck is Mr. Game and Watch?
Yeah,
I knew that because I had a Game and Watch as a kid, so I was like, oh,
who's
I was like,
Roy?
holy crap, Mr. Game and Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I do appreciate your little bit of Brawl love there, though, Floxcat. And, you know, the people love to talk about how terrible Brawl apparently was these days. I loved it. Always loved Brawl. Played a ton of it with my friends. So I appreciate that you also love Brawl. Next is RecBCQ with $5. Thank you, Rec. I've been doing so much drawing and writing lately, and I've been enjoying it a lot. It's odd, though, since that means I haven't been playing games. Well, sometimes you just need to take a break, right?
Yeah.
We all, I'm sure, have taken breaks from games before. And
I will be the first to admit that after like a review where I've been like knee deep in a game for a while, or a video that like focuses around a game, I don't want to play games for a while. I just want to watch TV or catch up on other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to look at Pokemon cards for a pretty long time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Keep them in your binders right now, please.
Next up, we have $5 New Zealand dollars from Mario 8A. Nice to see your name as well, Mario. Thank you. Have you guys watched The Big Bang Theory, and who is your favorite character? That show is not PC at all nowadays. LOL.
I have not watched it. I remember seeing a clip on Twitter of it where it was just a list of references, and then the guy at the end screamed, "Where's the joke?" And I'm like, yeah, it feels like that sums up that show pretty well.
It's funny you asked specifically about The Big Bang Theory, because I one of my recent tweets about it actually blew up because I was just I tweeted, I don't get how anybody watches this show and finds it funny. It's so bad. And it is like the lowest hanging fruit in terms of nerd humor. It's so unfunny. And as you can tell, I can't stand The Big Bang Theory. I've watched a few episodes. Every single episode I thought was god awful. And I couldn't name a favorite character because maybe, I don't even know her name. Penny, is it? She's like the least annoying.
The girl, yeah.
The girl, yeah. She's probably the least annoying out of everybody. But I can't stand The Big Bang Theory.
Oh my god! Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm with all y'all. I hate that show, man. Like,
awful.
I can't tell you the number of times that like some boomer would come up to me when that show was hot and be like, "Oh man, Steve would totally like these guys. They'd be like friends." And I'm like, "Shut up!" He's like, "I hate everything about you now."
Yeah, it's just like. Reference, laugh for 6 seconds. Reference, laugh for 6 seconds. And it's not a joke. It's just, this thing exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's nerd humor for people who like making fun of nerds.
For boomers.
For boomers. Yeah. It's just
pretty much
so unfunny. Yeah. So I could talk forever about how bad I think The Big Bang Theory is, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So, but thank you for that super chat. All right, next up is RecBCQ is back with $5 more. Thank you very much. After seeing Griever's reveal, it made me want a slice of life comic strip about an old man that has a Fido and Griever as pets. Well, we'll be talking about Griever pretty soon, because that was like the Pokemon reveal of the week. But yeah, I'm loving the whole Gen 9. Gen 9's focus on dog Pokemon is great for me. I love it. I love it. All right, last super chat for now is our good friend Aramis Baramis with $50. Always so incredibly generous. Thank you, Aramis Baramis, saying, "Hey, GVG crew, enjoy the cast." Well, we certainly are, and we always do. We get to hang out with all of you. So thank you very much. So speaking of Pokemon, that was one of the other things we were going to talk about. I slapped them front and center on the thumbnail. Griever, the Ghost Dog Pokemon, who is absolutely adorable. If you don't know what you're looking for, he just looks like a candle, like the candle sticking up out of the ground. But it's, as ever, really this is one of those Pokedex entries that has a darker side to it too, because it is so affectionate. It's a ghost dog. Yeah, it's the Ghost Dog Pokemon, and it is so affectionate that paying it any attention will make it so happy that it'll follow you wherever you go. However, it will also slowly and inadvertently absorb the life force of those around it, which is just so sad.
Oh no.
He's so cute and cuddly, but he kills you just by being around you.
That's just like Beware. It gives good hugs, but it also crushes you to death.
Yeah.
Crush your bones.
No biggie. And I still love that this continues to be a world in which, kids are basically kicked out of their homes at 10 years old to go catch these things, and they're all so lethal. They're all so incredibly lethal. And but no, I love this. I love this guy's design, and it's just one more sign that I'm really excited about where they're going with Gen 9. Like I said, I've been a lapsed Pokemon fan for a couple generations now, but I'm ready to jump back in.
I really just need them to give us another Pikachu evolution. Like, if they're going to keep foisting Pikachu on us, at least make him change.
I mean, we got that Raichu regional variant. That
A
was
Alolan
nice to see
That's
Raichu
true. We
get
did
some
get a
love.
Alolan Raichu.
That's true. That's true.
I need a third evolution for Pikachu. I
We
need
need to bring back.
Gorachu,
We
man.
need to, yeah.
Original variant of Pikachu. That'd be interesting.
I wonder if we'll get a new version of Eevee this generation.
I think it's about probably time.
It feels like it is because the last new one was Gen 6, right?
Sylveon.
Yeah. So it feels like it's time for a new iteration of Eevee. I'd love to see one. Also, really quick to answer your question, very quickly, Philip M. in our YouTube chat, does Good Vibes Gaming notice this live chat? Yes, we do. We just can't answer everyone's questions because we got a lot of super chats and, of course, news to discuss. But we do see and monitor the live chat on YouTube. So just to answer your question. The one thing I will say, though, about this era of Pokemon is I'm not really feeling the style of reveals they're doing. They're just like dropping a minute-long trailer at 6 a.m. every week just to reveal like a single new Pokemon. And I kind of miss the grander Pokemon Presents style of reveals. What about you guys?
I'm torn on those, honestly, because I've found that like at the initial reveal, like the setting is really what makes me decide whether or not I'm going to purchase the game. Sure. And beyond that, I kind of stop caring. Like I don't need a ton of information. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to, okay, like open world Spain themed Pokemon game. That sounds cool. I will buy that. And that's all like, but I don't get hyped the same way others do for these announcements. Like I know we have tons of fans who really, really like are waiting on pins and needles for more information. So I don't begrudge them that opportunity, but I personally don't really care a whole lot about these announcements as they come out.
Sure.
It's one of those things. It's like, you don't get excited for him. It's just cool to see him. I don't wake up early. It's just like, oh, neat. I like that. And then kind of move on. You don't get any kind of, there's not any kind of huge reveal, which is fine. Honestly, it's almost better in a way because we don't really know that much. We don't know all the gym leaders. We don't know the setup. There's a lot of mystery here. It's a nice surprise, and that's the difference. I'd rather have this slow drip feed of minor things compared to here's the game. Because I distinctly remember from, I think it was Sun and Moon, and it was like they're still trying to get people into the game and just showing as much as they can about it. And they revealed the whole return of Red and Blue. As like as super bosses, and I'm like, no, that would have been awesome to see for yourself. I would have discovered that. And how could you do that? So I'd much rather have this drip feed where they don't show as much.
And I see a couple of people asking. Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, keep it like closer to your chest. Not you don't need to show us you don't need to show us the post game before the game even comes out. That just kind of defeats some of the hype that you can get while you're playing it in universe. Seeing Red and Blue in the game older than before, that would have been really cool. I know. It's like one of those things where in Pokemon Gold you actually fight Red at the very end on top of Mount Silver, and you're like, oh my god, it's that the whole thing comes back around, and of course even back then I never knew that was going to be a thing, and just discovering that sort of stuff on your own, it's so much more exciting to see it organically. And I don't know, I don't know, I've just been exhausted for the kind of reveals that they've been doing lately on social media. Like when it's set up as a proper presentation for Pokemon Presents, it feels more exciting. It feels more like we're getting something that's substantial, like arguably substantial, depending on what you're looking for. But yeah, when it's just like small little snippets, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Is it a hummingbird Pokemon yet? No, okay, I'm moving on. I don't care.
Well, Becca brings up a good point in our live audience chat, saying she thinks they're doing it to market to the younger gamers who love short form content. Could possibly be. I hadn't thought about it from that angle. But yeah, I'm glad they're playing things closer to their chest because agreed. The Red and Blue reveal, like why that would have been so much cooler to discover in game. Like imagine back during the Gen 2 days if they had revealed Kanto in a trailer. Like that would have been so. It just would have just been such a bummer to find out through a trailer.
Derek, he's just out. He's like, nope, I'm done with this.
Like, how dare you put that thought in my headspace right now?
Exactly. So it sounds like we can all agree that we're pretty excited for Gen 9, though.
Yeah, I do want to say though, I agree with Becca in terms of younger audiences. Like I was talking to John about this the other day. I used to go through my Nintendo powers and like literally clip out screenshots of games that I was super hyped for. Like I had, and I'd keep them like in a folder, which was the dumbest thing I could possibly do. But I was just so excited for these games. I wanted to like thumb through the screenshots literally without the rest of the magazine in the way. And so like, and I think about that, that's like a very childlike thing to do. And I imagine that children now that are like into Pokemon are probably loving these little like bite-sized announcements, like you said.
Yeah.
That they're probably watching these and replaying them and showing them to their friends. With Nintendo, I'm sure there's some kind of data where they're like, this is going to traffic with children very well. Like every kid is going to know about Pokemon Gen 9.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. And I saw some people asking me, well, would you rather have a 24-hour live stream of a forest? No, there's a middle ground. That sucked too. There's a middle ground here where I really like those Pokemon Present style presentations.
That was incredible.
The thing is, though, I think about. Oh, go ahead, Daniel.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna go on a tangent with the forest.
I was just gonna say, like, I think about Pokemon advertising the way I think about like seeing an ad for a car. Like, I'm not the audience for these things. Like, I don't know, and I'm not like rich enough to know anybody who sees a commercial for a car and they're like, yep, gonna go buy that right now. Like I don't need to think about this at all. And I think about those ads for Pokemon are like targeted towards people much younger than us, because at our age, like as adults with money and budgets and all the boring crap that comes with being an adult, like we already kind of know from the get-go, like, okay, I'm going to keep my eye on this game because I'll probably buy it, or this isn't my thing at all. I'm not going to worry about it. So I think that this is definitely more to sway like younger people who might need to plan out their purchase a bit more.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. And has Derek. So Derek has just returned. Perfect timing, man. You're back.
Yeah, sorry. Kat was trying to get into the door, and our door is right next to Kai's door, and he's sleeping. So that scratching can definitely wake him up. So I had to get rid of her.
He had to eat the cat.
I was just trying to coax her away to go away, and she tried to dash past me to get into the room, and she will eat cords, so I cannot let her in this room.
Oh no.
So I locked her up in the dog cage because there's no alternative. She kept trying to get past me.
Derek Yeatner. You're now known as Derek Yeatner, says Squire.
To be fair, I have heard that if you yeet a cat on Twitch, there will be a controversy followed by wild success.
Wow. Oh, okay. No, we thought you were offended, Derek, by my talking about the idea of Kanto being revealed in a trailer back in Gen 2, the way they ruined Red and Blue.
No, I didn't even hear you say that. I had to take off before that because I was like, oh, I'm not letting this cat wake up Kai.
Right. Well, you came back just in time to chat about our last story of the day, which is Sonic Prime. Got a trailer, got character posters, and a release date of December 15th. And we're obviously going to be talking about a lot of Sonic in the coming weeks because of Sonic Frontiers. Ooh. But today, it's Sonic Prime News Day, and we did all watch the trailer. And guys, how are we feeling about this?
It looks pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
I think so. Good. I like the idea of alternate universe versions of Sonic's friends that he meets. Like, I like the idea of that, and I think it could, offer up some unique possibilities for storytelling in the Sonic universe that we haven't really seen a lot of so far. And the one thing, though, that's kind of thrown me, and I'm sure I'll get used to it, I'm sure he's a great actor, but the voice actor for Eggman in this particular incarnation is not doing it for me yet.
Besmirch the name of Brian Drummond, you cad.
Like I said, great actor, I'm sure. I'm not calling his talent into question.
The original Vegeta.
I know.
Man,
he's a wonderful actor.
He honestly
and I'm
sounds
sure
fine.
That I
he has
will
the gravelly
warm up to
voice. He's fine. He sounds fine to me.
Yeah. I had no issue with it when I watched.
Okay, so that was the thing that stood out to me and my wife. Was like, Eggman sounds a little strange, but I'm sure I'll get used to it.
It's also been only Mike Pollock for decades now.
Right. And I think that's just what it is.
Yeah, I think we've been so used to hearing Mike Pollock as Eggman that he just has... You can't imagine any other voice coming out of that man.
I think that's what it is for me. It's
so
just
long.
Like, exactly. But I see Eggman and I expect to hear a certain voice, and I'm not hearing that voice, but I just have to warm up to it. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying it's terrible. Nothing like that.
But I will say, Devin Mack is doing a fantastic job as Sonic. I feel like I feel like I'm listening to Adventure Sonic again when he talks. Like that higher pitch, that tone, it brings a good vibe to him, and I really like that voice for Sonic as far as what we've heard so far.
Do we know if we're getting all the episodes at once in December when it launches?
Probably.
Or are they doing weekly? Like, I hope so.
I hope so.
I think it's a mass drop.
I feel like Netflix would do that, yeah.
Or maybe they'll do it in clumps, like the first, 4 and then the next 4.
Yeah, I've just noticed that lately Netflix has been experimenting with, like, some of their shows, they'll release 1 episode a week. And some of them, they just drop the whole season at once. And I hope for something like Sonic, because it comes out when a lot of people are going to be, like, taking holiday vacations and stuff. And I will be. I really want to be able to sit down and just watch the whole thing and not wait, like, 8 to 10 weeks to see all of it.
That's one thing I really love about Cobra Kai. One of my favorite shows ever is that they do just drop the whole season at once, so I can just absolutely devour it as soon as it comes out. And it's nice not having to wait for new episodes to come out each week. So I hope they do the same thing. I agree with you, Steve. That would be the ideal format for them to release the episodes in, I think. But either way, I'm looking forward to this. It seems like I get kind of a Boomish vibe from the designs, but much better than Boom. Much better than Boom's designs.
Yeah, I think the art style and the animation quality are very similar to Sonic Boom, but the designs are infinitely better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also interesting that they just decided to have Rouge as the second female main character.
Right. And I love her new outfit too. Yeah. She looks really cool. I love her new outfit. But I will say Prime does have some big shoes to fill, because even though Boom's designs weren't great, Boom as a show was phenomenal. And not enough people talk about how great that show was. Yeah, the game sucked or were just middling, fine. But the show was fantastic.
It could be very funny.
Yeah.
This is definitely going more adventure.
Self-aware.
Yeah, I think it's going to be less funny and more adventurous and maybe a little bit darker. But I'm here for it. It's more Sonic. We all love Sonic. And I'm loving the animation quality. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So December 15th, I believe, I don't know exactly when they're coming, but I think another batch of Cuphead show episodes are also coming pretty soon. Maybe next month in November.
Man, I did not latch on to Cuphead. I thought it was.
I've never watched it. So.
It was well animated, but it didn't click for me. Like it just didn't feel right.
Yeah, something about it. I was looking forward to it, and I watched the first couple episodes, and I just couldn't stick with it for whatever reason. I'm not sure why.
Let me know when Castlevania comes out again.
Yeah, oh, dude.
Sure.
I can't wait for that sequel series, man. I cannot wait. God, the anime was so good. Season 3 was a bit but the rest of it was so good. All right. Well, that is pretty much the news for the week. Let's read out a couple more super chats, and then we will get on to our patron topics for the week. First, we've got $5 from Son of a Fish. Thank you, Son of a Fish. Been watching GVGcast since the beginning and finally became a patron because I love this channel so much. Love the videos and good vibes all around. Well, thank you so much. That is so nice to hear. Thank you for the kind words and the super chat and for joining our Patreon. It'll be great to see you around the community. Thank you. Next up is our good friend back again, RecBCQ with $5 more. Thank you. As someone who just graduated from theater school with aspirations to voice act, this situation makes me really sad. I worry for what will come next, referring, of course, to Bayonetta 3. Well, hopefully the worst of the situation is, at least in terms of Bayonetta 3, behind us. But yes, the overall endemic problem of voice actors being underpaid does continue, and probably will continue for some time, unfortunately. But we can always hope things will get better. We haven't seen this name in a while. I love this name. A Drink to the Past with $5. Thank you. Can't stay long, traveling to play bagpipes in Pennsylvania, so I'll catch the VOD later. As long as I'm here, what's your favorite kind of taco? Oh man, all of them, but especially particularly Al Pastor street tacos, straight up for me. Just the Al Pastor with the pineapple. You got that sweet and savory combination. And with onions and cilantro too. It's just
said pineapple.
Yeah, it's the best, man. It's the best.
No,
it's the best.
Pineapple.
I don't have those type of fancy pineapples out here. I'm just fine with a nice classic, a nice classic taco.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's all I need. I'm happy.
Like asada or a chicken or
no, just beef.
Okay, so yeah, like a beef taco. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
beef or chicken.
Don't need to be fancy. It's just good. Sometimes a classic's a classic.
Yeah, I like all tacos, but yeah, you get me. My favorite taco place is like a taco truck about a mile away from my apartment called El Flamin' Taco, and they do these Al Pastor street tacos that are just the pork comes right off the skillet. They put a little shaving of pineapple on there, onion, cilantro, salsa verde. It just melts into your mouth, and it's so good.
Oh.
I might even get them tonight, actually.
By the way, Ash,
I hate you so much.
But
do you want to scar yourself since you have such a love for this? Look up Great British Baking Show's Mexican Week.
Oh no! Oh no!
Do you want to see a British take on Mexican food?
I don't.
And have them attempt to pronounce Mexican dishes?
Oh no!
We should just have John on and have him do it.
I have not had a chance to watch the episode, but I've seen clips and it's like, oh my god, they recently made they recently tried to make a s'more, and what they did to that Paul Hollywood's version of a s'more is ridiculous.
Am I being asked in the live audience if I've tried an al pastor taco? Because yes, I was born in Los Angeles. I've tried them many times, and pineapple is disgusting.
No, man, you're well.
Yeah.
We'll just have to agree to disagree, I guess. But I also love pineapples on pizza. I like Hawaiian pizza.
I like that as well.
How can you be so good a person and so wrong?
I feel bad for pineapples right now.
Oh. I know. What did pineapples ever do to you, Steve? Pineapples are perfect.
I still don't like them on the food.
They
but...
existed.
Oh man, I
also as a fellow taco enthusiast, I just have to say we gotta throw some love out for birria tacos, which are
hell yeah.
It's shredded beef and cheese. It's so good. It's like what the American version of a taco is modeled after, but it's infinitely better.
We actually just had a birria taco truck open up right across the street from us, and it's so good.
I'm going to go visit you just to eat that. I'm actually going to be in your neck of the woods in mid-November, so I may try to swing by your house on the way back.
Hell yeah, let's do it. We'll party it up. All right, Floxcat is back. Thank you very much, Floxcat, with $15. First, the Harry Potter author and now Bayonetta's original voice actor. Seriously, I wish people could stop trying to destroy people who are LGBTQ+. Seriously, it really hurts me as I'm bisexual. And all I can say to that is I'm sorry and I agree with you. Yeah. Fuck those people and fuck anybody who wants to hurt the LGBTQ+ community. And we absolutely stand in solidarity with you. So completely agree with everything you said. And one more super chat for now from Shadow Mwape. Thank you very much. Always lovely to see your name in chat. $5. Thank you. Remake 1, Remake 2. Let's Fear Hunter stream live burning the third birthday while roasting weenies. All I ask is party members, please. So talking, of course, about Parasite Eve. And yeah, remake the first 2 games, burn the third birthday. Couldn't agree more. I don't know about party members, though. I mean, there are party members who could join Aya, but I don't know if I'd want them to.
Nah, she's better as a lone wolf.
Yeah, she's super capable on her own, and plus, I think the horror vibe is kind of ratcheted up when it's just her. If you have like a whole team, I feel like it's maybe not quite as scary. So that I might disagree with you on, but yeah. Oh, frequent positron, good idea. And our live audience chat, Patreon goal to make Steve eat Hawaiian pizza. I love it.
Listen. For a Patreon goal, I will do that with a smile on my face, or probably with bile in my mouth. But
would you eat pineapple pizza adorned with al pastor tacos, which also have pineapple?
Dude, I mean, for the good of the team, yeah, I'll do that. Nice. Like, I'll take one for the team. Are you kidding me? Go. You know what? If we hit, what are we at now? 4,700?
Yeah, 47, 48.
Yeah, if we hit 5K in tomorrow's stream on the next episode of GVGCast, I will eat pineapple on pizza live during the show.
I have to add that to the thing now. Thanks a lot, Steve.
No, you don't need to add that.
No.
I'm opening Photoshop right now.
No. The thing is, that's not even.
It's disgusting.
It's not that bad.
It isn't, man.
No, it's worse than you. Oh,
ham and
pineapple and cheese. Why? And
you're
good. I will admit,
cheese.
I'm literally like recoiling thinking about putting that in my mouth.
I will admit that is one of the kinds of pizza that you can't. It's not nearly as good as a leftover. Like, I would never want to go eat refrigerated Hawaiian pizza. That's the kind of pizza that you eat when it's hot and piping hot and ready. You eat it right away and it's delicious. But yeah, it's not.
You're one of those that eat cold pizza, Ash. Okay, I see.
Not on purpose. But leftovers are leftovers, man. I don't want to be wasteful.
Well, yeah, I have leftovers, but I also heat up the pizza again.
Oh, no, I usually do as well.
Pizza setting.
But there's something about, I don't know, there's something about pineapples being chilled and then
just a little dried out.
Ugh, see, that I can't go there with you, man. Love Hawaiian pizza, but not leftover Hawaiian pizza.
Just too picky.
Anyway. Of course, Cutie Caitlin zero down on eat it when it's piping hot. Of course you did, Caitlin. Thank you. All right. So, speaking of Patreon goals, we have reached that part of the show where we discuss topics suggested by our patrons at the producer tier and above. And if you want to find out how to get in on that action, head on over to patreon.com/GVGaming. But Daniel, since you have not been with us for about a month, man, why don't you go ahead and get us started?
Okay, I just had to add Steve Eats Pineapple Pizza onto the...
Oh my God.
Let's see. So my question this week comes from Azran, asking, since it's the last GVG cast before Halloween this year, I'm asking, what video game character's face or silhouettes would make for the best pumpkin carvings? Be sure to justify your answer. I've made some weird ones in the past. One of the nicer ones I did was just Boo. It was really cool to do Boo as one, and it lit up really well. The weirdest one I ever did, I kid you not, it was Mr. Game & Watch doing a number 9, because that's the scariest thing ever. Don't even start with me. Getting a 9 and just getting hit by it, that's the scariest. So what else would you put on a pumpkin than the scariest thing in Smash Brothers, a Game & Watch number 9? So that's my justification.
I think Steve might put an Al Pastor taco with pineapple on his pumpkin.
That's true.
That's the scariest thing for him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, now I'm pretty sure I'm going to be traumatized tomorrow.
I am not an artistic person at all. I can't carve fancy pumpkins. So for me, it's going to be something really basic like Kirby, because pumpkins are round. Kirby's round. It works. It's easy. Something like that. And I actually have done a Kirby pumpkin before because my wife and I just love Kirby so much. So I think, that to me lends himself to pumpkin carving particularly well, since they're both round. It's easy for someone like me who's not an artist or artistically, inclined. So yeah, someone round like that, like Kirby, I think is a good one.
See, I'm of the opinion that this is mainly because of Amy, because she is very good at pumpkin carving, and I think anything can be made into a good pumpkin. I'm trying to feel. I know I took a picture of it, so I'm just trying to find it. She carved a pumpkin of death from Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and it is amazing. It's so good. I'm gonna see if I can find it here.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
She did a great job, and she's done like contests but back in the day, and did really well with it. So yeah, anything you want. That's my answer. But death in particular, just because I've seen it done and it's awesome. Like, I'm gonna try to find it here, but go ahead, Steve.
So I was thinking about this. I also lack artistic talent, so I have no clue what would be the right thing here. But I would choose to use a combination of paint and carving, because I think Supersonic would look really cool on a pumpkin. So like you carve out the yellow parts of his body so that the light can shine through and make him look like he's glowing, and then like paint his eyes and body onto the rest of the pumpkin. I want that now. Somebody make that, please.
That's
one of you that
great.
knows how to do stuff.
Some people who do some really impressive ones, because they can like do shading by carving the pumpkin like halfway through and different depths. So that looks really cool.
Amy does that. I'm hoping I can find it.
I've seen a few suggestions in our live audience chat of Among Us crewmates, which I feel like that kind of goes back to what I was saying about Kirby. I feel like that would be a very an easier one to do for someone like me. It's just a kind of a less complicated design, right? Not as round as Kirby, of course, but in a broad sense, kind of a more like a simplistic design that I think would work pretty well for amateur pumpkin carvers such as myself. Oh, that's a good one, Wataniac, a smash ball. That's a great one.
That is a good one.
That is a good one.
And then the candle can make it flicker like the fiery logo. That's a really good idea. Love that one, Wataniac.
I saw one a while back too. Well, I forgot who did it, but I remember I saw a really cool one where, do you remember the stages in Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze or I guess either one, where it's just like a pure solid color? It's like an Apple ad, an old Apple ad, where it's like a pure solid silhouette, and you're traveling through with Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, and just like the front is just all orange, and the background is all like a light orange. Yeah, that was something I saw done to a pumpkin carving as well. It looked very natural. It was really cool.
Nice.
Just that sort of Yeah, just it's fun to do anything you can manage with 2 colors. You can get really creative with it.
Right. Well, you can get really creative with it because you are artistically inclined, man. I don't know if it works so
the
much for me.
Photoshops. I don't know if I could do pumpkin carvings.
Right. By the way, to call out something Boltmouse X said in our YouTube chat, I would love to do this sometime. Imagine the GVG gang doing the TMNT Mikey Pizza Challenge. I would be so down for that. That'd be something really gross and embarrassing we could do.
So here's that thing, Ash. Here's the thing about that. One of my ideas for a personal subathon. I guess we could make it if people enjoy this Halloween subathon, we could do another one in the future. And I was going to suggest for myself playing through all the games in the Cowabunga collection because they're not long.
No.
And as we reach goals, we unleash the pizzas from Michelangelo's collection. Hit that goal, we eat that next pizza.
I'm so in for that. I would love to do that.
Oh, that would be so. That sounds like GI distress.
Oh, definitely.
It would. It would.
Yeah. But I would be so in for that. Also, Steve, these pictures you're posting of the Metroid pumpkins are fantastic.
I know. I just Googled because somebody mentioned like that Nintendo posted a Samus pumpkin, and I just Googled Metroid pumpkin. I was like, holy crap, these are better than what Nintendo did.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. I love how the 3 pumpkins look like the shoulder bits of her Varia suit. That's so cool.
Oh, I know.
So for reference on some of the pizzas you can expect from Michelangelo, there's a tuna peanut butter and grape jelly pizza.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Let's go.
There's hot fudge and anchovies.
Oh,
there's
I could
chocolate fudge, sardines, chili pepper, and whipped cream.
I don't think anybody would make those. You'd have to get
no, you'd have to get the ingredients and put them on.
Yeah,
you just get a plain cheese pizza and then put those ingredients on top.
Oh my
God.
have
a bite.
And then get a barf bucket.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and clams.
I don't know.
Oh God.
Marshmallow and pepperoni would be easy work.
I did have my own birthday subathon. I had people vote on a pizza from this because they wanted me to have a pizza and they wanted to have one of these, so I had them vote, and they were kind to me. They did a chocolate chip pizza. That's not bad.
Oh, that's not bad at all. You got off easy, man.
Oh yeah,
I totally got off easy.
Yeah. Whoa, that pumpkin sculpt Becca just posted is ridiculous. Wow, that's incredible.
The heck?
Wow. All right. Well, as much as I would love to keep talking about pizzas, I will always talk about pizzas. We do have some more patron topics to get to. Steve, who's your topic this week from, man?
All right. My topic this week, as I scroll to hide the fact that I don't have it on screen, comes from Darkby Andy, who writes, in a different direction on how the Edgerunner anime got people to play Cyberpunk 2077, is there a game that's adapted from any media that you've played and then later on got you into books, anime, movies, or whatever they originally came from? Back in the PS1 era, my dad got me a game called Top Gun: Fire at Will. Besides being an average game, Top Gun has become a movie I watched as a kid over and over on VHS, and possibly my guilty pleasure. FYI, I did watch Top Gun Maverick. And I actually have a good one for this. When I was a little kid, my mom got me a game, my brother and I, a game for the Sega Master System called Zillion, the Triformation. And I spent the first 20 years of my life just enjoying that game at face value. I discovered in my early 20s that it was based on or rather that it was kind of like a cross media project where they made a game and an anime based on the game at the exact same time.
Oh, cool.
So as an adult, I went back and watched the Zillion anime, and it's super dope, although it is rife with Sega Master System marketing, which is terrible. He uses the light phaser from the Master System as his main weapon and stuff, but it's actually a pretty damn good anime, and it's really fun to watch as long as you don't mind the obvious product placement.
Right. Man, that's a good question. Ironically, we talked about Parasite Eve today, and I think that's really the only answer I have to this that I can think of off the top of my head. Not the book, but I did go back and watch the movie that was adapted from the book, because I was so into the game. So I haven't read the book itself, but yeah, I did go back and watch the Japanese movie that was based on the, and that was kind of a cool experience, and definitely different from the game, but definitely a fun experience in its own way. But I can't think of anything beyond Parasite Eve that really applies to for me.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either.
Yeah, I'm trying to as well.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think I can think of anything. I mean,
I usually got.
Go ahead.
No, I usually got games based on stuff I was already watching.
Right. I mean, I guess the reverse could apply to like Persona 4, because like I loved Persona 4 the game, and then I went back and watched the anime, but obviously the game came first in this case, so it's kind of the reverse. But yeah, I think as you're asking the question, Andy, Parasite Eve is really the only thing I can think of. So, yeah.
It's hard to even think of like
not even
games.
Yu-Gi-Oh, not even Pokemon. I was into the games first.
Right.
Although I guess in a roundabout way, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh, because I never played the card games until recently. But I guess Yu-Gi-Oh is the closest for me.
I know a lot of people that watched that show and then got into the cards just because of that. But yeah, it's hard to think of one. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I should have on the list, but a lot of them just were adapted from like its own media. Like there's not like a lot of games that have books about it or movies, for example. So it's hard to say unless you're talking about like licensed stuff.
Right.
I did read those old Resident Evil books that they did. They had that adaptation. Honestly, in retrospect, it's like, you tried, man. You did your best to try to adapt these things.
Right.
Come up with your own original OC character.
There were some interesting things that Danganronpa did. Like there were actual like side novels and stories that would help flesh out the world. Some of them were you could unlock when you beat some of the games. They would have like one of those. It's like a visual novel, but it's just text, and there's a lot of different books that you could read from that. Of course, they had a couple anime series as well. That might be the closest thing, but otherwise, I can't really think of much else that I've explored other media from just playing the game.
Right. Alrighty.
Yeah, I was never gifted like, oh, here's Batman the video game. Oh, what's Batman?
Yeah, exactly.
It was never that.
Jackson Dennis in our YouTube chat, I have no idea what you're talking about, saying, Ash, thanks for the nachos last night. It was such a lovely dinner. I have no idea what you're talking about, but you're welcome, I guess. I don't know what you even mean, but sure. Okay. Derek, you're up, man.
Mine comes from Dat Alpha Lion saying, you guys probably saw that tweet that said drop a game that came out when you were 18. I'm going to take it one step further and ask this. Drop a game you played that came out when you were 6. P.S. Happy 5th birthday to Mario Odyssey, which turned 5 years old yesterday by the time you're reading this. So, yeah.
Do we have to?
So I looked up. So I was born in 1985. So 1991 is when I turned.
I know what game you're going to choose.
Yeah. Which game am I going to choose, Steve?
Is it Super Mario 3?
No, it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Damn! Oh my God, Sonic came out in 91?
Yeah. Did Mario Brothers 3 come out?
Oh no.
Super Castlevania 4 came out in 91.
Mario 3.
I think it was Mario World was out by the time, unless it was in US. That's the hard part. Is like I
had to search for it to look for my game, because my 6th year was 1988, and Mario 3 came up on the list, and I was like, that was not out.
No.
When I was 6, and that's because it released in Japan in 1988 and released in America in 1991.
Oh, okay.
I got it for Christmas the year I turned 9, which is why I was so confused. I was like, my parents didn't wait that long to get it for me, because I was up their butts about that game. I was like, Mario 3, it's all I want. Please buy me Mario 3. And they're like, please shut up.
I always have to say, Sonic, because that's when I was like, that's why I bought a Sega, because Sonic looks so cool.
Well, yeah. So my 9th year on this earth was a great year for me, because I got Sonic for my birthday that year. And I got Mario 3 for Christmas that year. And that was like the best gaming year of my childhood.
I will say, because unfortunately, Wikipedia doesn't have like a list of like what come out when, because I was going to choose something after my birthday. So like after September, just to be a bit more specific, like actually with me being 6, but also the year. Does not have that, but I did stumble upon a game apparently called Sex Olympics.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, man. Let's go.
1991 was a hell of a year.
Sure was.
It sure was for some people.
How do you medal in the Sex Olympics?
I don't even know. Oh man. That's okay.
I want to play this game.
Same. Big same. Sounds like a good stream game.
This came out in 1991.
I think it was on the Amiga.
Brad Stallion 4 Sex Olympic. Okay, we're watching the ending of this game during the post show. So if you're not one of our patrons, you should join now.
Yeah, join in the live audience tier and join us for our post show right after GVGcast.
Spicy.
I want to know who Brad Stallion is.
Oh no, the plot synopsis. Dear God.
Uh-oh, lay it on us.
I don't know if I can read it.
Oh, really? That bad?
Bro, oh my God,
right,
the screenshots of this game. Hold on. I'm going to post this.
This has to be saved for the post show. Anyway, what else? What came out when you were 6, Daniel?
A much safer game than that. When I was 6, we saw the release of Super Mario 64.
Oh,
okay.
God.
Oh,
nice.
Go away.
I know. I hate you for that, but
it's weird to think that. I don't feel very young, but it's all relative to your crew, so I guess I feel a little bit better about that now.
Wow, that was such a dig. Jesus Christ.
No, don't worry about it. Another game was Revelations Persona. The first Persona game also came out the same year, so that's pretty fitting for me.
Why did you have to be on the episode where we're talking about age?
I'm going to curl up in a ball and actually die.
Listen, I didn't even pick this question. You can't put that
right.
Another one for you, Ash. You'll like this one.
Oh, no.
Team NT Manhattan Project.
Oh, yep. Okay.
So there's some good 91 for you.
Oh,
anyway,
the Rapper 96 as well.
That was my 91.
So, unfortunately, the answer Steve was going to give is the answer that does apply to me. So, my 6th year was 1990. But I'm not going to say Mario 3 because that actually came out before my birthday that year. So, I'm actually going to do beyond brand and say Mega Man 3. Mega Man 3 released on November 1st, 1990 in the US, and that's after my birthday. So
here's the part that stings. That was my guess at Derek's answer. My answer is Super Mario 2.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
See, I could have said Mega Man 4, Ash, because
Right.
91. God.
I hate
91 was a pretty decent year looking at the releases. That's when Street Fighter 2 hit the arcades. That's Streets of Rage, Sonic
1990 also had the NES version of TMNT, the arcade game, at the end of the year. So that was also a 1990 game. Yeah.
Metroid 2: Return of Samus came out in 91.
Oh,
Damn,
wow.
I had a good year for my 6th year. Wish I knew about most of these games because I didn't know. I didn't have any gaming magazines. I didn't know what the hell to buy.
I mean, we all lose if we don't have Sex Olympics in our answer because that's the easy best answer.
Obviously, the thing we were all playing at 6.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think that speaks really well to the quality of our parents that we didn't know about that game.
That's probably true.
Hey, son, are you winning? I bought you this.
At least you didn't have anybody here who would answer something like Mario Galaxy because there are people like that now, and I'm just like, stop it. Stop it.
Well, here we go. Bolt Mouse, 2004. I was 6 when 1,000 Year Door came out. Oh, God.
No.
God. Okay. I think it's
done.
There's never been a better time to move on to the next topic, which is mine this week. Is from Young Ben Kenobi. Thank you, Ben. Which game/series that you enjoy now do you feel like you were late to / wish you'd gotten into earlier? For example, I only got into Final Fantasy in 2020, but wish I discovered it much earlier in my gaming life. And for me, I think that's got to be Yakuza. I'm sure there are multiple answers, but the one that comes to my mind right now is Yakuza because I loved Like a Dragon, and I know that I would love the other games, most of the other games in the series too, in general. But the prospect of going back and playing through the franchise as an adult with very little free time because of how beefy those games are, it's just not something I feel like I can realistically do. So I wish I discovered the series earlier in life so I could have played them as they were released and really enjoyed the series in a gradual sense and not face down the idea of playing through 6 giant games at least to really enjoy it now. So I think Yakuza is probably my big answer for that.
I think Yakuza is definitely a candidate for me, but for whatever reason, three RPGs come to my mind. It's RPG series beyond Final Fantasy. It's like I was so into RPGs and I barely played any of these. Ys, the Ys series, the Tales of series, and the Legend of Heroes series. I feel like those would be pretty interesting because they're just so ubiquitous now. So much bigger. I know, Daniel. I'm sorry.
Actually, well, Tales, of course, you should be ashamed of yourself. But also, I was going to say Legend of Heroes for my answer.
Oh, sorry, I took 3. I shouldn't have done that. But go ahead.
Yeah, dude. No, it's fine. Go ahead, please.
No, that's all. That's all I got. I hear everybody talk about it nowadays, and it's just like, yeah,
Because it's like Trails in the Sky has like its trilogy, and then there's like Trails of Cold Steel also has its like quadrilogy, and then there's the Legend of
these
Trails of Azure, Trails of Zero, Yeast versus Trails of Sky. I don't know what the hell that's about. There's so many in this series, and they are all I've heard from people who play the game. They're very long series games each, and I don't know how I'm gonna ever manage to do that.
Yeah, those are all good answers. Legend of Heroes applies to me as well. And East kind of does as well. I've only played East 8, but I loved it. And I'd love to go back and play the other games, but I just, when am I going to do that? Same with Yakuza, right? So, what about you, Steve?
See, I don't actually regret when I'm late to a series. Sometimes I really enjoy that fact, because then it's like, you know how people are like, oh man, like I wish I could replay Chrono Trigger. Like I wish I could forget Chrono Trigger and play it again for the first time. And in a way, like I'm appreciative when I have that opportunity. Like I'm like, oh shit, this series is really good. But I will say the one time in my life that I regretted not getting into a series sooner was literally the same example as the question of Final Fantasy. I was a Final Fantasy VII bandwagoner, so like I hopped on and I was like, Final Fantasy kicks ass, man! One of my favorite series, and I had not played any other games, so I went back.
I mean, that's where I started, so I didn't feel bad about that, because that's literally what got me into RPGs.
Same. Like I mean, I had played Chrono Trigger and enjoyed that before 7, so I knew I liked RPGs, but yeah, I definitely wish that I had been like not ignoring all the Nintendo Power articles about Final Fantasy VI and actually picked it up and played it. I've since remedied that, and it's a fantastic game, and in many ways better than 7. But yeah, I'm like, how can there be 6 other games in this awesome series that I haven't played yet? I'm an idiot.
I have curiosity. Which Tales games have you played, Derek?
Only Tales of Symphonia. I own Vesperia Definitive. I own, oh gosh, I gotta find them here. I own the Tales of Symphonia Chronicles and Tales of Xillia, but I think that's it.
And those PS3 Tales games.
And I did pick up the Rise, but I haven't played it yet.
So they're all just waiting there for you to get to.
Yeah, I can get into a few Tales games. I even have what's it called? The one that's where you play as Chopin.
Oh, Eternal Sonata. That game's wild, man. That
I have that.
That game's a trip. Very beautiful.
Really, yeah. It also, I think Eternal Sonata still to this day has maybe the longest death scene, like the longest death cut scene I think I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Isn't it like 45 minutes or something?
Aren't you dead yet?
Yeah, 45 minutes to die? What the hell?
It's pretty ridiculous. I don't know how long it actually is. Maybe it's like
there's a lot of like flashbacks and cut scenes in between. I'm just like, oh, please. This is longer than an actual symphony. Stop it.
This character's dying for what seems like forever. And it's just like the whole like, you know, they're dying and lying on the floor and last words, and then they just keep going. Somehow they keep on going.
For those not aware, Eternal Sonata, you play as the very real Frédéric Chopin, who on his deathbed, because he historically did die young, dreams of anime, the world of music.
It's so good.
I've humored the idea of doing a video because it's such a wild concept, and the fact that it's done by studios that have worked on the Tales of series, it's so interesting, and just it's a trip. That's for sure.
I mean, honestly, of all the things I could dream about on my deathbed, anime is really up there. I'd love to be if I'm dreaming of something.
Chopin got himself some waifus before he died.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that brings Eternal Sonata. Just hearing that game title brings me back. I really liked it at the time. It's anime as hell. That's for sure.
I got a hell of a backlog. I could stop buying games right now and I'd still be set for 20 years.
Same. Excellent soundtrack too, which you'd hope, considering it's based on Chopin. But yeah, it had an excellent soundtrack as well. Great game. But, well, that does bring us to the end of our patron topics for the week. That was a really fun spread of questions. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. And once again, if you do want to suggest topics for us to discuss on future GVG casts, just head on over to patreon.com/GVgaming and join the producer tier. And you can suggest topics for us to discuss every week. With that said, that does bring us almost to the end of the show. We do have a few more super chats to read out that I am trying to mask the fact that I am looking for them right now. Okay, so we've got oh man, Guillermo Rovita. I hope I said that right. I apologize if I didn't, but thank you, Guillermo Rovita, with $5. Thank you. Purchased Star Ocean: The Divine Force today, playing on my PS5, and I'm really enjoying it. Maybe more than Tales of Arise. Are any of you playing it soon? Not as such. I'm not a big Star Ocean guy. I liked 2 and 3 back in the day, but only liked them. I'm not like a big Star Ocean fan.
I hear it's a bit more of a throwback to Star Ocean 2.
I've heard that as well. So,
which is probably good. I heard good things back in the PS1 era about Star Ocean 2.
Same.
And then I was like, I wasn't able to pick it up, but then I was like, oh, here's Star Ocean. Oh God, what was the one with the Fate Line God?
Oh, like, that's Star Ocean till the end of time. The third.
Till the end of time. I'm like, this sucks. I sold it. I was like, oh, I couldn't take it.
Yeah, I don't really have any plans. I mean, there's too many other games that are higher priority for me. I mean, I'm still working on Xenoblade 3. Sonic Frontiers is coming soon. I want to play, Persona 5 Royal. I like, there's just so much other stuff that I'd rather play that are higher priority for me. So, but I'm glad you're enjoying it for sure.
Yeah.
I actually got a code for it today from my pals at Microsoft, so I am going to check it out.
Oh,
but
nice.
It's like, they were like, hey, you want to see Star Ocean? I was like, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Next is Gold Pac-Man 135 with $2. Thank you very much. With a classic matchup question. Ida from My Hero Academia versus A-Train from The Boys. You choose. I have not seen either one, so I plead.
I've not seen The Boys.
I know Ida from My Hero.
I know Ida.
It's definitely A-Train. I don't like A-Train. He's an unlikable piece of shit character.
I mean, that's most boys' characters from my understanding.
Yeah, he literally, I mean, to give you an idea of how The Boys starts, it's with A-Train running so fast at someone that person explodes. Like he runs through a human being.
Yeah,
all right.
A-Train. That's not A-Train. Ida definitely not capable of that.
I will agree with you guys. I don't know, so I'm just going to assume you're right. It's A-Train. All right. Aramis Baramis is back with $10 more. Thank you. Sorry, I had to run to get something at Best Buy before it closed. Love what you all do. Quick question. D-pad or touchscreen for movement in a 3D DS game? Which do you prefer?
D-pad.
D-pad. Easily D-pad.
I'll do D-pad.
Yeah. I still remember trying to play Super Mario 64 3D DS with the analog nub.
Nub.
Oh, that was awful.
Yep, that thing was so terrible.
I
whoever thought of doing that was just wrong.
Yeah. So definitely analog or D-pad. All right, then finally, our last super chat of the day from our good friend Goron Amber with $5. Thank you, Amber. I'm on Team Pineapple Pizza. One time I tried to order one though, and pineapple was on the toppings list, but ham wasn't. You gotta have ham too. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you can at least substitute with bacon, but you gotta have ham.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't want to have a pineapple only pizza. You got to have that sweet and savory combination. But I think that is a good as note as any to leave the show off on. We have now reached the true end of episode 30 of the GVGcast. Thank you all so much for watching. We love doing this with you every week. It's the perfect start to our weekends every Friday evening. So thank you so much. Of course, as always, we had to give a special thank you to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make this show and everything we do happen, because without you, it would not be happening. So thank you so much for everything you do for us. But as always, we also have to give an extra special thank you to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine, wonderful, incredible, amazing folks include Brandon Bovia, Cutie Caitlin, Fangs, Dan and Twistle, Z Patty, Just Brian, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, Christopher Baque, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Critter XD, Kitty Kong Fax, Angel Martinez, Vedron Hotik, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Pagrima, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Brady Power, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, Eddie B, Kit Fisto, Jessica Toad, Deaneth, Sci-Fi Lullabies, Michael McCaw, Nope, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Reiner, Nathan Steele, Spicy Panda Otter, Rain and Clouds, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Rosa Pardo Bowling.
Hi, Mom.
Mega Amster, Kane Woolley, Darksteel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Dinner Sonic, Derek. I always make that mistake. Derek, Nova the Artist, Colin, Blaystar 25, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Screamo Shaman, Mason Riley, Keel, Willow Pingree, Moon Knight, Ray Clausen, Brendan Hesse, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Ryan's Fault, Brainchild, Pat Pending, Jim Wakelin, Lauren Bond, Long Boy Shiggy, Andy Mine P, Ad, Kyle the Monarch, Alpha Lion, Lord Metarex, Kyle Gamer and Barry Rookie, Jay Brox, Salad Dinner, Revolver Axolot, Datboy64, Blaze Collard, Eric, Danielle Crowder, Alex Westover, Cat Evie Person 5, and last but certainly not least, Lady Maxillary. Thank you all so much. Spicy Panda Otter, I realize you asked to have your name changed, and I forgot to do that, but it will be in for next week. I apologize for that. Thank you all so much for watching. We are about to go do our patron-exclusive GVGcast post-show, so definitely come join us for that if you can. But we're out. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Halloween, and we hope to see you tomorrow for our spooky subathon starting bright and early at 6 a.m. Pacific. See you then.
Whew.
Night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
So we meet again.